when we talk about inner strength, I'd like to base my session a little bit on what I had experienced and some of my learning, which I came to know through my experience. The first thing I realized is when we all have a lot of friends, we have a lot of support. It's very, very important that you're able to build a great friendship with yourself. In other words, become your own best friend. Now, we may wonder why. Why is it? Why can't we have a lot of other friends? Definitely, there are so many wonderful well-wishers and friends that we all have around. But I think it's important that we are able to give us the best advice that we would be able to give others. And that is how, when I talk about bridging that kind of gap that can arise within us, so we become our best friend. Many years ago, when I had been through a very traumatic and personal crisis, I knew it was time for me to recognize some of the areas that I need to work on very desperately. And the first step here was to start looking at myself as my best confidant, someone who is capable of giving me the advice that will help me take me forward, become a better person than what I was. The second question was, why do I wish to get that inner strength at that point of time? What was the reason? And I think finding the reason is very, very critical whenever a situation of that nature happens in our life. Because we need to ask ourselves, why the thought has occurred at this stage? What is the reason behind it? As far as I was concerned, the reason was simple. Either I would start worsening my health, which was getting affected because of the personal trauma, or I could start shifting my focus into something else more productive, more progressive, and more positive, and create a better life for myself. And in the process, others as well. So that was the second one. That is the question. The third one is to embrace what we fear. As far as I was concerned, I was at a state in my life where I had several responsibilities. I'm sure all of us do. We have several responsibilities. At the same time, I was going for a shift in behavior and outlook and approach to life, for which I was definitely not feeling very comfortable. But I realized at that point of time, unless I decided to face that fear and make the change, I'm not going to be able to get the inner strength that I require to move forward. So in other words, face what we fear. I think that is very, very important when it comes to finding our inner strength. The next thing would be, how disciplined are we when it comes to training our physical body as well as our mental state of mind? I'm sure, since all of you are coming from a background where mental health awareness is so important and so very respected here. For example, I would like to mention here that I greatly appreciated Dr. Woodward's presentation for its emphasis on kindness, compassion, because I believe that is definitely one way we are able to not just find our inner strength, but help others find theirs. So we need to look at how disciplined we are when it comes to training our mind to overcome negative and toxic thoughts, replace them with more productive and more progressive thoughts. That's very important. Are we following a good lifestyle, a healthy lifestyle, including following a healthy eating pattern? I think these are questions that are also important. And of course, the next one would be not to allow our fear to affect our decision making. Are we preventing ourselves from taking the right decision out of fear? Well, it's time we face that fear and went ahead with the decision we need to make. How many of the times have you found that our minds can get very cluttered? So the next step would be to make sure we just clear out a lot of the thoughts that's not helping us. And we might need to be very tough on ourselves, but when we look at the focus and our goal in mind, it becomes easier. And the second last one would be to follow up with our decision to act with actions. It might be a long-term plan that we have in mind. Absolutely, Amber, absolutely. Thank you. Our decision would be affecting us for, let's say, for the next maybe 20, 25 years, or even till we die. So it's very important that we follow up with the decision with the right actions that will take us on the journey that we are meant to take, so that we are also able to not just help ourselves, but help others, like all of you wonderful people are doing today.
Thank you.
And last but not least, this is the point which I would like to emphasize as not being selfish, because unless we make this choice, it's difficult for us to help others more effectively. And that is putting ourselves first when it comes to improvement, when it comes to working on our flaws and becoming a better person. I think in the aircraft, we are all told that we need to ensure that we protect ourselves when it comes to oxygen management. Why? So that we are then able to take care of others who would require our assistance.